Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So today should be a pretty interesting day here. We have quite a few things to cover and talk about. We'll make it quick so you guys can get back to your day. All right, so you got Kern, MLNT, Shopify, the market, gold, the dollar. There's a lot going on today. A lot going on, especially after the Fed decided not to cut rates, not to raise rates, and that they're going to probably do a rate cut in July. So the whole market's preparing for a July rate cut and pricing in that move as well. So we're pushed into all-time highs, which is great for the market. Fantastic. I love it. But some things to touch on. So you got the market breaking into all-time highs. Don't be surprised if you see some type of parabolic long move to the upside, maybe today and going over the course of the next couple of weeks. Might have to do like an off-the-top long play. Shopify is just crushing it. That's definitely a stock worth watching. It's definitely overpriced or getting pretty high price, but a lot of really good moves with that stock, so something to take a look at. MLNT penny stock will follow for continuation today with the price target of probably 11. If it is, in fact, a continuation good long day, I would say targets to look for at most would probably be 11. Kern is really just an overly hyped stock that's probably fun to watch. All right, so let's get into looking at this stuff. So here's the first one on the screen. This is Kern right now. So this is a new recent, you can call it a recent IPO marijuana stock. They went from 11 to 80 yesterday. I mentioned it on Facebook. Raises about $25 and was basically saying to watch this thing, and then it ends up ripping to 80, of course. I put in a limit order to get filled 1,000 shares for the trade. Only got filled 42. Ended up selling today here. So ended up making a little bit of money. Not a whole lot. Ended up being like $1,000 or something like that. But if I would have got filled my full 1,000 shares, it would have been a whole different story. So yeah, I put in a limit order for 1,000. Took off, went to golf. Ended up only getting filled 42 shares. Next thing you know, it rips to 80. So we would have been looking at a really great day, but that didn't happen. So anyways, I'll still take it. Nice little win. So this is going to be fun to watch just to see how it plays out. If the stock does end up crashing, let's say out of the gates, it'd probably be a good idea to watch for a bounce down here around $44. Brad, gold is killing it. Absolutely, gold's crushing it actually. So watch for a bounce around there. Anyways, long story short, Kern, it's an overly hyped stock. It's very expensive now. The spread's going to be, 60. It's going to be like a $2 spread now, so not going to be easy to work with. Do your best to use limit orders to get in. If you do a market order, you're going to be fluctuating from up and down money pretty frequently as the bid-ask spread jumps around, and the market makers work within that bid-ask spread. So Kern going to be a little bit expensive and big spread. So next one on the list, MLNT we'll talk about. So MLNT was a penny stock yesterday that ripped, and we said to watch for a long play or a red to green move off at 380. Didn't even listen to my own advice. It goes ripping. But anyways, hopefully some of you guys caught that. Then it grinds up all day. Another short squeeze. Then it pulls back again. Does another short squeeze. Then it pulls back again for a reversal. Anyways, today it did not stop at 727. It had strength to get up and over, now pushing again, so it's worth watching for continuation on the day. And let me redo this. Let's see where it's at. This purple line coming into my chart and a couple of these red lines, that's where you should look for your target, maybe around $10 to $11. As I said, if it is in fact a true continuation play, is going to have good momentum, then your $10 to $11 price area would probably be an area to push for. Doesn't mean it's going to get there, but that's where I would anticipate it goes to if it is in fact a 2-day runner. Has to be a 2-day runner. Can't be an early morning spike, long play, then crash and won't get there. It has to be a 2-day runner for that price target to get met. So if it is, that's where you should probably aim for, around $10 to $11 on MLNT. In terms of getting in long, there is no long play yet. There is no entry point yet because really, your entry points pre-market. So this could all change as we get into market open. Right now we have kind of a bull flag formation, little kind of dips getting bought up. So this may or may not push more pre-market, but we'll see. You're going to have a lot of newer or beginner traders looking for breaks over the pre-market high of 785. So if there is a dip that you get in somehow, as it presses back up to 780, there's going to be resistance there at first. If it starts to break over, you're going to have all your fresh fish come in and buy it up over 780 and really squeeze the price. And then that's when you're going to want to start selling to them. So MLNT on watch versus 2-day continuation. Next one on the list, Shopify. We'll talk about Shopify. Shopify got some pretty good news here. I just want to show you how it's looking, really. If you look, that's just a blasting day, but that's because it came out of another bull flag setup. So I don't think Shopify is going to have the craziest day, but I think it's worth watching. It just came out of like a bull flag, bull pennant, squeezed up with positive news, and the market with them not cutting rates, with them not raising rates. All the stars aligned for Shopify to go into a long play. So I think today's worth watching for an early morning spike kind of out of the gates for a few points. But nonetheless, this has been a super, super strong stock, as you can see, ripping. So this is one where it comes out of a really good setup, right? So think about it right here. You see how it kind of spiked up a big candle, then it had another good day? That's what you're kind of looking for. Had this really big move, a lot of volume. Look for a long play continuation on Shopify today. All right, over to the SPY. The SPY is now into all-time highs. This is one of the other scenarios we talked about really like a couple days ago and talked about a year ago now, or maybe not a year, maybe a couple months ago. But we're into all-time highs. And the funny thing is, with us going into all-time highs in the market, you'd think everything's all good. But then when you come and look at gold, gold's flying through the roof. Gold doesn't pick up and gold doesn't move like it's been moving unless people are nervous about something. So there is something beneath the surface that nobody's quite sure about, or at least hasn't fully bubbled to the surface yet, that's happening or it's going on, because there's a lot of money rushing into gold right now. Part of the reason is because there is a really good technical setup that's allowing it to push up in the manner it is. The other half of it's probably because people are nervous that the market might be too high or it's too overpriced, or next thing you know, Iran's going to shoot a missile at us, or someone's going to blow up another oil tanker, or the Chinese are going to come wipe us out because of the trade war, and Putin's going to turn the dollar into nothing, and they're going to go to cryptocurrency. I mean, there's like 1,000 trillion reasons, but who really cares? Just follow the price action. So what we have here is we got gold flying through the roof this morning. It's been flying through the roof, and I said this a couple days ago. I actually said this a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, to watch gold for a breakout. And now it's finally starting. Peter Schiff's been saying it for God knows how long, since he was like 10 years old. But gold's finally starting to break out. The 3-year chart looks, well, more or less the weekly chart. But if you go to like 20 years on the gold chart, this is GLD, by the way. Excuse me, this isn't gold, but it's an ETF that tracks gold, so it's pretty dang close. But this is just the long setup here is turning into a great formation. So don't be surprised if you see GLD or gold go on a bull run here soon. And if gold goes on a bull run, what do you think is going to happen to the market? The market's probably not going to be going on a bull run the same time gold goes on a bull run. Possibly a little bit optimistic on a bull run, but the setup's there, and the market's at a high price to the point where we could easily fall into a recession. If we can easily fall into a recession, then it's not so far-fetched that gold would have a good opportunity to go on a bull run. So if you take a look at the market, it's been going up for however long. You have people fucking shooting oil tankers. You have people who can't figure out trade wars. I mean, gold's starting to go up. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty, as we already all know. So when you take this beautiful gold setup that's starting to break out, you take the overly priced stock market right now, okay, and you kind of mix it all together, it's not very far-fetched. So gold's going up, right? And at the same time, you also have the U.S. dollar crashing, so to speak. Now, here's our U.S. dollar. It's not really crashing. It was a little aggressive in choices of words there, but the dollar's starting to roll over a little bit right now. And this is what it looks like over the past couple days. Not so hot. So the gold gold's going up, dollar's going down, and what I'm getting at is though we're not raising interest rates, right, and though we didn't make a cut right now, they're pricing in a cut for July, interest rate cut, but regardless of all that, generally gold would not be flying up the way it is if the market was really, really strong. So it may look like it's strong, but in reality, it might not be. It's kind of like a lake in the wintertime, right? Just because there's ice on top of the surface, it may look like it's solid, but until you step a few feet out, you start to crackle and break, and then eventually you fall through. Kind of like the market and how it usually starts, okay? So there's my quick little morning rundown for you guys. No, I don't think it's a good time to buy a position on TVX anticipating a market dump. No, I do not. Why do stocks? Well, Robert, right now you're probably looking at stocks this morning and going, holy shit, they're up really big this morning. But if you go look at the stock market, the whole market's up really big this morning. So that's particularly why it happened today. But in pre-market and after hours trading, it's easier to get prices to move because there's actually less volume, right? When there's less volume, what the market makers tend to do is they tend to widen the bid-ask spread. So if anybody wants to get in or out, they have to go all the way up to the bid-ask spread to make a purchase or a sale, which then makes that the last price that the stock had been traded at. So, like Netflix, for example, closes today at 300, and then the market makers widen the spread, 2 points from, 330 to 332. If just one person buys one share from the market maker at 332, the price will now be at 332, and that will cause a big gap in the chart. So, a couple things there, and that's not entirely it, but that's a good portion of it. One second, just kind of reading through some things here. Oil, I don't trade oil, don't pay attention to oil enough to give any insight there. Whoa. Yeah, so yeah, Mike, and I like that outlook, right? Because and you do, right? And so this was another scenario, right? And that's what it comes down to is it's always really hard to always judge exactly what's going to happen to anything. That's why you always prepare for a couple outcomes, right? I'd like to think that I'm going to be a young, just absolutely drop dead, gorgeous, good looking stud muffin my whole life. But, that might not be the case. And I might have some health problems down the road that I got to take care of. And so that's why we get things like health insurance, because we just don't know for sure, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be good, amazing looking and healthy, for majority of my life. I think that's a good, but I really don't know for sure. So I'm going to get something like health insurance. I'm going to get insurance, right? Just in case some shit hits the fan, right? And then I'll be kind of protected. So it's kind of like, you don't want to just say, hey, the bull market's going to go forever, because then what if it doesn't go forever and you have all your eggs just in one place, and then you're basically just screwed, right? You don't do that, right? So I hate this like stigma or the way the market works, that everybody, everybody likes to call somebody else an idiot or really likes to jump on somebody's back and give them a hard time when it comes to the stock market as soon as they're not exactly correct, because there's so many different outcomes that happen that, yeah, it's really hard to be correct all the time. And it's, what I mean? So you always have a couple different outcomes. And mine was Very easily could we go into a crash or recession this year. It was very easily we could triple top and come down, and it wouldn't be very hard to bust into all-time highs and then come down. So again, still bearish the market. Even with this breaking, even if we go through a really big, nice upward move, I'll still be bearish the market because things just are adding up towards that level. We wouldn't have had almost 3 corrections in the year of 2018 if we're not starting to change in sentiment. So always have some different game plans, right, and different outlets. Roku is into an all-time high. That might be worth watching long. I don't trade enough oil or focus on oil enough to touch on oil personally. Adrian, when I see here's it doesn't mean buy or short. It's definitely not a buy signal, and it's definitely not a short signal, right? Because here's something that you should everybody here to take away. Okay, there could be a million reasons why somebody or there could be a million reasons why somebody sells something, right? Somebody could sell shares because they want to lock in profit. They could sell shares because they've lost too much money. They could sell shares because they need to pay for their daughter's college. They need to sell these shares because they're going bankrupt. So there could be a million reasons to why somebody sells something, but there's generally only one reason why somebody buys shares. Nobody buys shares thinking they're going to go down. They only buy shares because they think something's going to go up. But there could be more reasons as to why they sell. So when looking at things like the president or a CEO or like Mark Zuckerberg, right? If Mark Zuckerberg comes out and starts buying just boatloads of shares in his company, that's a good sign because you don't buy shares in your own company if you think it's going to go down. You buy shares because you think it's going to go up. But you could sell shares because you want to lock some profit in. You could sell shares because you think it's going to go down. You could sell shares because you just need more money. You could sell shares because your wife just won't stop bugging you to buy her a new Louis Vuitton purse. I mean, it could be endless, right? But you only buy because you think it's going to go up. Good rule to remember. Do you think a short on the SPY for a swing trade today would be smart? Absolutely not. Don't do that. It's probably, and never mind. Do whatever you want to do. I wouldn't do that. Personally, I wouldn't do that. No siree, Bob. What's a good entry into MLNT? MLNT, you will find out your entry once the market opens. That's just about it. Right? I mean, I can go look at it. I can give you see, that's the thing. Everyone's like, well, what's a good entry? It's like, well, again, you really don't know, right? See, it's like you could go out to dinner, right? And you'd be like, well, what are you going to want to eat? Well, I don't really know what I want to eat until I see the menu, right? I could have an idea, but I won't know. So I can tell you, I can already tell you multiple good buy. Well, yeah, I can give you 2 good buy points, right? If it does this, right? So like down here, this is one. Oop, shit, that ain't going to work well. So right here, this is a perfect buy point all the way down at 482. If this came all the way crashing down to 482, I'd buy it in a heartbeat, 10,000 shares. Why? Because it will most likely bounce if it came crashing down into 482. The likelihood it goes all the way down to 482, probably not going to happen, right? Here's a good buy point right about here into here, okay? If this kind of spikes up and has a decent pullback, not crashing. If it comes crashing down, it will probably have a slight bounce here, but not a big one. This is your only structure area, so this is something to watch for. It might never come back to this point. It might go up, consolidate, and create the long play here. So for now, you have potential buy points at 780 or 718 all the way down to 475. And then, that's basically it. And then you see this dip point right here. It matches up with yesterday's previous high. So right now, this is probably the area where most people are paying attention to, right at 711. Right. So, and here's the other thing. If you buy at this area, right, say a bunch of people start buying here, anticipating a little dip buy, and then it rolls over, there's going to be a massive sell-off right there because everybody who dip bought is going to panic sell out as it comes down. So that could either be a great buy point and a drastic sell-off point. So it's something you have to be able to read in real time as it's happening. So something to think about. EDSA, let's see, EDSA. Yeah, EDSA, some little penny stock that was just ripping up today. This one, it's worth watching, but ideally, you'd probably want to be more on the sideline first because there's nothing about this that appears as a great long. In fact, this looks like a better short play because it's just really overextended. So that's just it, right? So a lot of people are probably going to try and come in here and short this down. If for whatever reason it doesn't break down, then it will be a good long play because all the short sellers will get squeezed out. But I probably wouldn't hop on this one right away by any means. It's probably not the safe bet. I really having a... Did this go through a reverse split recently? I'm having a hard time understanding this stock. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I don't really. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me. So yeah, this thing's way over its 200 moving average. I mean, what is it up to? It's up to 1050. Is that a 7? That's 9. I mean, there's really no good way to judge resistance. I'd watch it, but I wouldn't be too like crazy. It actually kind of looks like it's going to turn into a nice little leg long here, possibly. But again, I wouldn't be. Yeah, that's a decent. That's actually a really good formation for a long push. Whether it pushes a different story, but I mean, generally that's a long setup that I would take right there. That's like an inverse head. It's almost a perfect inverse head and shoulders long play. Like it's like the shoulder. It's close. So, whether it plays out, again, it's a different story. It would be hard for me to take the long on it since it's up so big, but generally speaking, that formation it's really bullish. I don't think it's going to play out because it's up so big, but that's a pretty bullish formation. Nice, good work. Yep, we already went over Kern. It'll be fun to watch, but you're going to be very careful trading it if you do. Snap? I haven't seen Snap in a while. Let's take a look. It's up Fort. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. Yeah, that's a nice bullish move. I mean, yeah, you're already late to that party. I mean, it's probably worth watching long since it's been going long, but I mean, the way I would go about doing this, let's see, 180-day chart. It's on a trend. I mean, it's over. Yeah, it's not a good buy right now. You don't want to be buying it. It's too high in its move and its trend. Yeah, so that's where you want to buy. Like this is actually, there might be, how can I do this? Let's see if I can get this down. Yeah, it's a little high in that move to be buying. You'd want to be buying down here around 12, somewhere around this trend line area. That's just a little too high to buy for me personally. But yeah, it's performed pretty well. AMD, yeah, you could probably watch AMD long, guys. Pretty much you can take any large cap stock today that's decently bullish and probably watch it long. If the market goes on a rip, most of these stocks are probably going to go long. So today's a long day. Today's a day to probably be long. So if you're thinking about anything short bias, I would probably scratch it off the table real fast and pretty much watch to be long bias on most stocks today. Okay. Probably not. Ian McCanny. Yeah, probably not. What's a good resistance? Baba, what's a good resistance? He said for today. 171. What's Baba's average true range is 479. So if Baba's thing is 479, so that's 170, 175. Good resistance is going to be right about 175, Baba. So if Baba has a really good long day, I would expect resistance right around the 175s, maybe a little higher, 176 area. You said Google. Let's see. Average true range, 22. 22. So it's at 120. So it's got 140. In Google, good resistance is going to be at about 1140. Right in that area. Well, wait, hold on. What did I say it was? I say it was 22. 22. Yeah, at about 1140. Yep. All right, guys, got to get back to our group, our private group. It's 9 o'clock. That's when I hop back on with our team. We'll run to about 10:30, 11 in the morning, live. We start at 8, and I hop onto here, and then we'll run live there for another couple hours. So anyways, guys, have a great day. Stay focused. Don't jump the gun too much. I didn't really hardly trade yesterday anyways. Just coming back from vacation. Wanted to kind of take it slow. So going to be back on trying to hit some winners here today. So anyways, guys, take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning for another stream.